There's much too much money that flows in the shadows to influence our elections.
We have to get money out of politics.
These people are putting huge amounts of money into our political system, and it is allowing Congress to represent wealthy campaign contributors and not the working families of this country.
We must get big money out of politics now.
Money in politics shouldn't really matter in a democracy. Money used by candidates or third parties to run ads, for example, shouldn't affect voters. If you're so malleable that a campaign ad changes who you vote for, maybe you shouldn't be voting at all. If you decide to vote in an election, you should do adequate research on the candidates. In the modern era with the internet, this is not a difficult task. If you don't have the time or interest to do research, that's fine, just don't vote. People need to self-regulate their decision to vote. All voters have had years to assess the differences between Trump, Biden, and some third-party candidates for the 2024 election. And if you're an older voter, you've had decades to develop a political ideology. It shouldn't matter how much money is spent for a campaign. The money shouldn't influence you if you've done your own research and you're not a credulous person. If your vote can be bought by campaigns spending money, you are the problem. Campaigns shouldn't need to spend millions or billions of dollars each election to win. Campaigns should be able to win with just small grassroots donations. Moreover, the concerns about large donors corrupting or quasi-bribing politicians also shouldn't be a real concern. Voters have the power not to elect candidates who take large sums of money from these types of groups. But voters don't seem to care. They keep voting for the same kinds of candidates and the same two-party duopoly. Citizens need to stop voting for people who take these big money shady donations. Maybe then candidates would stop accepting these donations because if they don't, they won't get elected. The current problematic and corrupt system is what the people want. They're getting what they voted for. That's democracy at work. Another way to address the problem of buying politicians with donations is by changing the political ideology that you vote for. Voting for big government allows for this type of corruption. If the government engages in massive spending and regulation, this incentivizes lobbying and campaign donations. If people only voted for those who support a constitutionally limited government that has minimal spending power and a minimal ability to pass laws, then most lobbying and campaign donations for influence would be futile. If the government doesn't have the power to pass certain laws or refuses to hand out things like subsidies and favorable regulations, then bad money in politics starts to disappear. The chief problem here is democracy. Uneducated and impressionable people decide it's a good idea to vote, and they vote for candidates who are bought by political donations. But democracy is also the solution. If you haven't developed a deep understanding of politics, please don't vote. Only vote after you've done adequate edification. If you keep voting for the people who are bought by contributions from groups you don't like, stop complaining about money in politics. Instead, change who you vote for. Money in politics is only an issue because the voters have decided to make it an issue. Voters have the power to change this and to make money in politics largely irrelevant. Until that happens, you get what you vote for.